All right, we're back on the air. GJRB Online here on Spreaker across America and GJRB LPFM, low-powered 9-foot closed-circuit signal here on Clinton's North End. A little FM signal that we carry our program on at Spreaker FM 88.9 KSPR LPFM, Clinton, Iowa. Gary J. Russell with you. We got some good stuff coming up this hour. Hope you'll stay with us for some of the great music, some of the songs coming up, including The Last Reveal. Light in my eyes.
Fine line. Lately it changed my mind. Oh, sweet line. I've got questions, but no one answers. The night don't feel like it used to.
Yeah, we got that, plus some more great music. New emerging artists all the time right here on GJRB Online. So let's get the hour started right here on Spreaker. Gary J in the morning. So let's start her over and get this song going. Let's get this hour going. Get a cup of coffee. Let's chat. Got a lot of fun stuff coming your way. This is The Last Reveal. Gary J in the morning.
Sun is setting on my left, moon rising on my right. I'm stuck between the darkness and the light. I've got nothing, but I'm still trying. The night don't feel like it used to, so I'm just trying to get used to this light in my eyes. I've been walking that fine line. Lately it changed my mind. There's gotta be a reason for this feeling. I've got questions, but no one answers. The night don't feel like it used to, so I'm just trying to get used to this light in my eyes. Driving on that long main night, I'm just a wasting time. They tell me there's more than just being. Got no reason to believe them. The night don't feel like it marches forward. It moves too damn fast. One breath is your first, baby. One breath is your last. And then there's a sound. Always the sound of a breaking heart.
That's the sound of a breaking heart.
Oh, no.
That's the sound of a breaking
That's the sound of breaking heart.
sound of a breaking heart.
Damn, damn, damn. Well, you can run, but you can't hide. And no matter how lonely you feel, you leave people behind. Well, they can't save you, baby. They can't keep you alive. No amount of money, no amount of time. They start making the sound. Hearing the sound of a breaking heart.
That's the sound of a breaking heart.
That's the sound,
That's the sound of a breaking
the sound of breaking heart.
sound of a breaking heart.
Oh,
That's the sound of a
damn, damn, damn. Can you hear it, baby? When you lose somebody you love, there ain't nothing you can do. Damn, 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 damn. A good disposition can buy you some time, but no matter how hard you try, you leave people behind. The hard cost of living, baby, it's a bill we all pay. Death is hard on the living, but the dead get away. They start hearing the sound, making the sound of a breaking heart. Oh God, it's the sound of breaking heart. You know, when you lose somebody you love, damn, damn, damn. It's the sound of breaking heart.
Oh, yeah, we're going to keep playing that one. That's fabulous. Kevin Gross, the sounds of a breaking hearts. Welcome to the second hour of Gary J in the morning. Waking up across America here on Spreaker, especially on the West Coast. And we'll be talking a little bit. Grab yourself another cup of coffee. Let's get going here. It's Gary J in the morning. There's a group called The Upper Room. Great End of the Line song. End of the Line is the name of that one. Great apocalyptic song. Gary J in the morning, rocking it this morning.
is coming. It will be time to pay for all the things we've done and all the things we say. He said, "Up to the least of these, have to me. There's no time to run away. There's no time to flee. I think we're about to find. We're coming to the end of the line. We're coming to the end of the line. We're running out of time. Trump is about to call. Kingdom of this world will fall. It's the end of the line. It's the end of the line. It's the end of the line.
Yeah. The Upper Room on GJRB Online with a great end time prophecy type song there called End of the Line. Gary J in the morning on GJRB Online. And second hour, I hope you enjoyed the program. Grab a cup of coffee, say hello. Love to hear from you. And just posted on Spreaker Tavern, Spreaker, Meet the Spreakers, and I'm doing GJRB Online right now, the GJRB Online page, so that we could get some people out there, maybe somebody out there tuning in, and let's see what we can come up with here this morning. Gary J in the morning here on GJRB Online. Thanks a lot for tuning in and waking up with the G-Man this morning. Gary J in the morning. Hey, coming up in the last hour, we're going to do our shout outs to Spreaker listeners, all our Spreaker people, all our great podcasters who follow us and I follow, coming up next hour. So stay tuned for that. Got some great shout outs. Communicating with some great people on the Mike Myers show, Radio Hope, this morning. Absolutely fabulous. Had a great time doing that. Had a great show this morning, Mike. Always, as usual, put on a good show. But we got some to look forward to tonight, because tonight at 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, it's the Caramel Conservative Ed Delgado on the air live from Wisconsin. Check it out tonight. It's going to be live right here on Spreaker, and you can check it out. Always a great show. Always. He's always got packed full of information and a lot of good stuff. And you got to check it out. We're in the midst right now of another 50 minutes. We just started of nonstop music and talk right here on GJRB Online. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of really good stuff coming your way here on Spreaker today on GJRB Online. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in. We got weather on the fives coming up. We'll take a look at the hurricane situation down in Florida. I understand they are looking at some interesting weather here, and I'm going to put this on freeze right now because we're looking at hurricane. It's a Hurricane Dorian, and it is now down to a Category 2 with winds at 110 miles per hour, and it's moving northwest at 2 miles per hour. So this is a slow-moving storm. I mean, this is why it's so devastating, because it's so slow. It's at 958. The pressure right now at 958 millibars. So that's low. That's very low pressure. Then we're talking low pressure here, folks. And I'm hoping that everything's doing okay. Right now, hurricane watch on the Carolina coast. Let's see, is that South Carolina? Yeah. They're watching out. Watch for Jasper, Beaufort, Collington, Maury, and Georgetown counties in South Carolina. They're the ones you're going to be keeping an eye on that. These storms, the impact is pretty bad. They've already had, the blood of this storm the Bahamas took a blunt of this storm, and it's headed up the coast. It's still headed up to the Carolinas at this point. That's why South Carolina's under an alert. Jasper, Beaufort counties until 7:15 p.m. tonight. So beware of that. 7:15 p.m. tonight for this hurricane. So it's been kind of interesting, eventful. You know, I've been saying that Clinton, Iowa is kind of one of those towns where we've been kind of slow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we were a town that I said, you know, nothing happens in Clinton, Iowa. I got to take that back. Yesterday we had an armed robbery at a local eating establishment we just love up here called the Pizza Ranch. Yesterday morning, they were getting ready to prep, and some armed robbers, you know, followed them into the building, and they held up the Pizza Ranch, and really shook up a lot of people there. So praying for their safety. Pizza Ranch here in Clinton, just on 13th Avenue North, just off the expressway there, and it's terrible. They people really scared there. They did. There was some damage. There was some people really scared. So they closed down the restaurant for the day. It was not open yesterday, but apparently they're going to be open today. Pizza Ranch here in Clinton. Sad situation there. They held up, and we hope everyone's okay down there. But over across here, just on the other side of town here in Clinton, Pizza Ranch getting held up yesterday, and we'll have a story on that coming up at the half hour here in the next news break locally here on GJRB Online. We'll follow that story. We're following that story. Meanwhile, we're going to do get ready for Weather on the Fives, and I've got some more great music. And you want to talk, we'll have a cup of coffee. Hoping maybe perhaps there'll be some people out there. I already spread this show about. I've already have it on Twitter. It's on Twitter. I already have posted on Meet the Spreakers, GJRB Online, and Spreaker Tavern. And I haven't posted this hour at all on MeWe, but I'll do that this hour. So we'll do MeWe this hour. I have to set that up, so got to make sure MeWe gets it. And sometimes I have to have two browsers up to do it, or else I don't get to do my little favorite part there. But Weather on the Fives coming up right now. Let's do it. Let's take a look at some temperatures across the land. So, let's see what we got. The hottest point right now, Phoenix, Arizona. Last week when we were on, it was the triple digits. They're now in the 92, Phoenix, Arizona, 91, Las Vegas, 92 in Salt Lake City. These are the current temperatures right now. 71 in Billings, Montana, 66 is the coolest in Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, 64. As we head in just about Midwest, it's Omaha, Nebraska, with 80 degrees, Wichita, Kansas, 84. 84 degrees in St. Louis, 82 degrees in Washington, D.C., 78 degrees in New York City, 87 degrees in Charlotte. We get down south where the hurricane is, around Florida, 84 degrees in Orlando, and 87 degrees in Miami. And like I said before, they have an alert right now going on, tropical storm alert, tropical storm watch right now, and that's in the Carolinas. And we're going to keep an eye on that one for you and let you know about that. Here's some more current temperatures. Spokane, Washington, right now, 65 degrees, 74 degrees in Boise, Idaho, 66 degrees in Sacramento, California, right now, where you're listening at 9:25 a.m., 77 degrees San Diego, 74 in Flagstaff, 89 degrees in Pueblo, Utah. And let's go over to Milwaukee, 76 degrees, 81 degrees in Cleveland, 84 degrees in Baltimore, and 85 in Raleigh, North Carolina. Let's take a look at today's high temperatures expected. 90 degrees expected in St. Louis, Wichita, Kansas, 97, 86 degrees in Denver, 93 in Atlanta, 90 degrees in Charlotte. And take a look at San Antonio. High temperature expected today, 100. 93 expected for Lubbock. And tonight's lows, let's take a look at some of those. They're going to cool down in Lubbock, Texas, and down in those areas. 79 degrees tonight in Houston, 78 for Dallas, 73 for Little Rock, 72 for Atlanta, 68 degrees in Charlotte, Washington, D.C. checking in with 71, 71 also in Baltimore, 60 degrees in Portland, Maine, 67 degrees in Cleveland, Ohio. Here's Weather Nation.
Shore, we are feeling the impacts in the form of rising water levels. I'm guessing, Meredith, that we should be looking at beach and sand here, but instead the water levels and the waves have come well up onto the beach, and it's starting to hit the bottom stairs there of that pier in Flagler.
Unfortunately, we're going to see a lot more scenes like these for the northern eastern parts of Florida, and so just like Vicki was saying, this is the kind of storm where it's offshore, yes, it's weekend, yes, but this is a very large storm, and those bands could even impact the western parts of Florida.
Absolutely, and just as a reminder, I know we're far from it, but once this storm passes, and we're talking about eroding away sand and some of that structure underneath roads and piers, it's not safe to venture out even when there's a break in the weather, because now a lot of the structures are going to be compromised as well.
In fact, we've even had some information coming in of a dune breach, and meteorologist Brett Adair is joining us now near St. Augustine, Florida. He can tell us a little bit more about that, Brett.
Yeah, Meredith, we actually have gotten back on the road going into St. Augustine. We stopped. We got some information near Marineland, Florida, just south of here, about a good 6-7 miles off the A1A, where there was a dune breach. We shot some video of that. We're going to feed that back through here just a few moments. Definitely had some water starting to come into the Matanzas River Basin, so we are starting to see problems even in this area where it's virtually sunny at the moment. We still have that onshore flow, and we have very, very heavy wave action crashing in, bring some of the higher tides. We are almost at high tide here in about the next 15 minutes, so those problems will continue at least for the next couple of hours.
Brett, have you seen anybody that's been out there that maybe has chose to stick around, or is it a pretty quiet ghost town to some of these ones you've been driving through?
We have seen a little bit more activity. We went through Flagler just a little bit ago and stopped at the pier watching some of those breakers hit the end of the pier. There were several people out there. Everyone is being very diligent of the situation and pretty careful. The one things that we have noticed is there's not a ton of travel on the area roadways, so if people had to move inland just a little bit, at least the roadways are not clogged. We have seen fuel trucks, so we do have fuel in the area as well. Everybody does seem to be somewhat prepared, though. The hatches are battened down just in case this system does decide to make a little bit closer past to Florida and give us some of those hurricane conditions a little later on.
And you and I, as meteorologists, both know that things can change quickly by just a short shift in the track. Brett, you've been covering these storms from out in the field for a while now. Do you have any advice to people that may be sticking around near the coast, especially the farther north you go in Florida?
Well, this system has been compared by a lot of locals to Hurricane Matthew, with its current track staying just offshore, grazing the east coast of Florida. Several communities along the east coast dealt with a 4 to 8 foot storm surge during Matthew. So I would be prepared for that. Not saying that's going to happen, but I would be prepared. Those issues can cause major problems. You can be flooded in or flooded out for several days. So just keep in mind that this system has not exited the area, even though it may be sunny outside right now. It's not over with. Pay attention to the situation for the next 24 to 36 hours and let this system move by before you let your guard down.
Well, we appreciate that information, Brett Adair. We've also been checking in with some of our other correspondents and finding out that you're not going to have people to come and rescue you once you get those winds above 70 miles per hour. The first responders are saying if you're going to stay, you're going to be on your own. Have you seen that situation happen in the past?
Well, absolutely. A lot of these local roadways here on the coastline have bridges. They shut the bridges down when the winds get over 45 miles per hour sustained, so they will get their crews out of harm's way as well. They don't want to put anybody in danger that they don't have to. So if you could just stay in your place or stay out of the area and evacuate, that'll also keep these first responders that are on the ground safe.
We appreciate that. Meteorologist Brett Adair joining us from Florida. Thank you. We will be checking back in with you in a bit. Stay safe out there. We do want to send things over to meteorologist Vicki Knapp to get the latest track and forecast of this storm, Vicki.
Thank you so much, Meredith. We will continue to watch this storm inch northwards and then eventually make a turn to the northeast. So current forecast going, we're going to keep the majority of this system potentially offshore, but we are going to see plenty of impacts across Georgia, the Carolinas, and even up into Virginia as we look ahead through the second half of the work week, because as we've talked about, this storm is actually growing in size. So we see these hurricane force winds extend further out from the center. So in Charleston, Wilmington, you've got a very high likelihood of seeing hurricane force winds over the next 5 days once this system starts to inch closer, starting up Wednesday and then through the end of the work week. That's in excess of 75 miles per hour. Tropical storm force winds, that's upwards of 35 miles per hour. We're going to see that all the way up and down the southeastern coastline, but look how far inland these tropical storm force winds can extend, well into central portions of South Carolina, maybe even in Columbia, dealing with some of these tropical storm force winds. So again, it's the size of the storm at this point that's going to play a very important role in the impacts. If you're just joining us from South Carolina, North Carolina, do want to update you. The watches and warnings have been extended. A hurricane warning is now in place for Charleston, and then a hurricane watch extends all the way up through the Outer Banks. A warning means that these conditions will arrive in 36 hours. A watch means that these conditions will arrive in 48 hours. So it's not really a question of if, it's when. And again, this system is slowly moving, so eventually we'll start to see these pinks turn to reds as we go from a watch to a warning. Also, new storm surge alerts have been issued for the coastline. Savannah, Charleston, under that storm surge warning in anticipation of 4 to 7 feet of surge, because as this storm moves to the north and to the northwest, it's going to push all of that water out ahead of it. Storm surge conditions will start up well before the arrival of this storm. Stick with us here at Weather Nation. Much more coming up.
And there you go, Weather Nation, giving you our weather. Take what's going on with that hurricane down in the south, and people are being alert. It's going to go clear up the coast, almost near Virginia. Good grief. And so it's not over yet for a lot of people down there, especially down in Florida, Florida's eastern coast, all the way up until you get into the Carolinas. Right now, there's an alert for people in South Carolina right now. It's supposed to head up into Wilmington. So, I mean, if you're listening to those areas, listen to your local weather. Pay attention and, to advisories. And, of course, don't stick around if it's going to be really, really bad. I wouldn't. I mean, that's not, a place to, just don't mess with this kind of stuff, because this kind of weather is not good, I wouldn't. Okay? All right, weather on the fives, 25 and 45 minutes past the hour on all music shows, 25 and 55 on all talk shows. Anytime in the hour that ends in 5. Another weather on the fives coming up here. We'll do it around 1:45. Take a look at some weather in key cities, and we'll take a look at some of the weather in those cities that are affected by this hurricane. Right now, let's, first St. Lucie will be one of them, by the way. All right, Gary J. in the morning here on GHRB Online. Let's take a look at what's going on in the GHRB news desk. I'm Gary J. Russin, and yesterday there was a armed robbery here in Clinton, Iowa, and at the Pizza Ranch here in Clinton, and they're going to do an investigation on that story. Investigation on this robbery, which happened yesterday. We have a video, but apparently it's not working at this point. It's not running. We should be getting a video, but we're not. Report from Channel 6, I think, but it's not working. So we'll take a look at that later on and see if we can get on that story. Meanwhile, in other news, we're following that story on the hurricane and a capsized in a bad fire in California on a boat. These stories and a whole lot more coming up in the next 30, close to the next 30 more minutes, or when news breaks. Bob at the top of the clock to keep you on top. GJRB Online News. I'm Gary J. Rustin at the GJRB News Desk. And I'm Gary J. Rustin. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the Gary J. in the Morning Show here on GJRB Online. And we're waking up with some great music, so I hope you'll stay with me throughout the day. Bring you some good tunes, and always glad to bring you this morning show. I look forward to doing it. I really am. I have a good time doing this. And I'll tell you what, there's people who down there in Florida, they need the power of prayer. And I got to tell you, our friends in Bethel Park tell you the group 70 times 7 need that power of prayer for these people so they're safe. You know what I'm saying? It's definite. Yeah. 70 times 7, GJRB.
Hear the power of prayer, voices that call out to the Lord in the night. You hear the power of prayer, people who talk right to the Lord every night. You hear the power of prayer, hearts that sing out, praising the Lord in His might. You hear. I call on the Lord, and He knows my name. I open my heart, and I bear Him my shame. He always forgives, never leaves me to blame. With Him in my life, nothing's ever the same. See the power of prayer, works that are done thanks to the Lord's intervention. See the power of prayer, battles are won thanks to the Lord's dedication. See the power of prayer, healing the sick thanks to the Lord's medication. See, I call on the Lord, and He knows my heart. I ask for His help, and He does His part. I cry out His name, and He isn't far. His love is a light, as bright as a star.
All right, it's Power of Prayer, 70 times 7 on GJRB Online. Gary J in the morning on a Tuesday morning here on Spreaker across America, the Wake Up Show. Always glad to bring you this stuff. I love doing this show. Enjoy doing it for you, and I hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening across America, the Gary J in the Morning Show. And if you like our show, drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. Come on, hit that like button. That's what I love when you hit that like button. Because I know you're out there, and I know there's some people somewhere out there listening to this program somewhere. So hit that like button. And if you're listening on, we got this available on YouTube, on the GGRB TV YouTube channel, so you can listen there as well. Hit that like button as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can listen to our program there too, as well as a afterthought podcast. And that is where you can find a lot of our programs. And of course, on Twitter, the Radio Maniac. Just hit that button. You'll see the show's widget come up when we're on the air live, and just hit it. It takes you right into our Spreaker chat room when you hit that balloon, comic book balloon button, and you can get on the radio and chat with us a little bit. You can, I'll see you in the chat room, and I'll acknowledge you, and we'll chat a little bit. It'll be fun. Grab a cup of coffee and just enjoy time here on Spreaker and Gary J in the Morning Show, and we'll do our shout outs coming up. So stay with me for that. Right now, though, it is time for another Sports Page Update.
Sports Page Update starts now.
All right, let's take a look at what's going on in the world of sports right now. Today, the Colts threw money at quarterback Jacoby Brissett and Brian Hoyer to replace Andrew Luck on the as of short notice. The top-ranked tennis player in the world is out of the U.S. Open. Naomi Osaka is eliminated, and Belinda Bencic will beat her for the third time this year. Justin Verlander added a Hall of Famer to resume on Sunday, throwing his third career no-hitting, masterful 14 strikeout domination to the Toronto Blue Jays. And let's take a look at some of the games coming up. Like I said before, I want to take a look here. And I know we ran out, but I got to check and see here. We got some of the games coming up. The White Sox play Cleveland tonight, San Francisco and Atlanta. Los Angeles Angels going to play Oakland. New York Mets going to play the Washington Nationals. Further on down the line, Baltimore and Tampa Bay. We have Toronto playing Atlanta. And Cleveland's going to play, try it again. The Chicago Cubs up against the Mariners. And let's see, do we have? Let me go to let's go to the MLB for a minute, because I want to check the scores here in the MLB and see what we got as far as that's concerned, because I didn't get a chance to see all the scores, and so I thought we'd just do this real quick from yesterday anyway. Just a little beyond what we were going to do here. And I promised some standings on the last show. I never got to it. Let's see. We have yesterday's games and all. Where are they at? Yesterday's games. Some of the finals. Let's see we got here. I'm going to go to the final scores of yesterday's games. Should be on here anyway. Let's take a look. Let's see what we got here. Baseball finals in the MLB, according to ESPN. I'll use that. Let's see here. Maybe they could give me some scores from yesterday's games as soon as it comes up here. Let's see where we got. So, MLB. It's not giving me any. You rats. Okay, let me see what we got here. Yesterday, today's Tuesday, so I look at yesterday's games. Let's see here what we got. Okay, let's take a look. Here's yesterday's games. Some of the finals from yesterday in the, first of all, the Cubs won. They beat the Mariners down to the Cubs yesterday. So the Cubs won yesterday, 5-1 over the Seattle Mariners. And that's fabulous. The Cubs rally with 5 runs, 7th in to beat the Mariners 5-1. So, hey, absolutely fabulous. Yeah, the Cubs did win. Yeah. Uh-huh.